Hello again. Today we're doing another make money from your garden or make money from your plants episode. It's only going to be a short one today. I'm going to talk about a way of making money from plants when you don't need a garden. And when I tell you what this idea is, you'll think, well, it'll be something that you've probably never thought of, and if you have, you'll probably think that you can't do this, you don't have the education to do this, but I tell you, you can. This idea is plant tissue culture. Tissue culture is where you can grow new plants from tiny amounts of tissue of the parent plant, and many people use it. Many people use tissue culture labs, and you can make one at home. All you need is a room dedicated to it, a room that you can keep spotless and sterile, well, not sterile, but as clean and tidy as you can. And all the equipment you need and all the information you need you can find online. Really easy. I'll leave some links down below in the description to some websites where you can find equipment in Australia, but you can find in most countries. Information, just things that you might need if you decide that this might be something that you'd be interested in doing. To start with, tissue culture is used for many reasons. It can be used to propagate plants on a large scale, because you only need 1 or 2 parent plants, and you can make, with a scalpel, you can get hundreds of tiny tissue samples to make new plants with. This is really important for plants that you can't propagate easily other ways, like they don't come true from seed, or it's really hard to take cuttings of them. Plants that are propagated by tissue culture include things like orchids and stone fruit. Oh, that's for a different reason. Maybe you've been gardening or you grow plants and you've found a mutation that's really interesting, you think would sell really well, but you know that that plant is not going to either produce seed or produce seed that will carry on that mutation. So if you have a tissue culture lab, somebody who has grown that plant and wants to produce thousands of them for sale can use your lab to produce those plants. Another reason for using a tissue culture lab, like with potatoes and stone fruit and some vegetables, is to get rid of viruses. In plants, viruses move very slowly through the tissues, and so the virus usually doesn't reach the fast-growing tips of plants. So if you have a potato variety that you really want to grow, or somebody wants to grow, but it's full of viruses, which a lot of potatoes do build up over time, you can take culture from the tips of those plants that have no virus in them, and then you can produce clean plants to sell back to that person, or they pay you to do that for them. I'll just look at my notes here. So apart from the rapid reproduction of cloned plants and cleaning of viruses, sometimes tissue culture is also used for preserving very rare plants, to keep them going until they can be either planted back in the wild, or just to keep that genetics going. If tissue culture was something you got into and you were really interested, there are other uses for it, but that takes a bit more speciality, which you can still learn. You can learn online, and there are courses. I will link down below to a website where you can, an Australian website where you can do a course on tissue culture. But there are other more specialised uses like embryo rescue, where people might want to produce a hybrid of two distantly related species, and you can, if you pollinate them, the seed may not grow, so use embryo rescue to make that seed grow into the new hybrid. But anyway, that's for something later on if you were really interested. Okay, so tissue culture is something that anybody can learn as long as you're willing to spend that time learning. The information's all out there. It takes time to learn different plants' needs, like different nutrients for different plants, different chemicals and ratios and things like that. But it's all out there if you're willing to get out and learn and take some time and experiment. It's a good little business if you can get your reputation out there to the right people. People will come to you and pay you to reproduce their plants for them. I actually looked into this many years ago and I decided it wasn't for me. I just didn't have the personality for it. You really need to be a really clean, neat and tidy person, which I'm not, as well as you need to have that space where you can do it and keep it clean and tidy. So I did end up buying a tissue culture kit many years ago, and you can buy even more kits now online. Really easy, Australian or overseas. With all the things you need to start with, and then if you decide you decide that it's your thing, all the nutrients, the chemicals, everything you need can be bought online. What else have we got here? The equipment you need really isn't as expensive as you think. One of the websites down below will give you a list of the things that you need. Some of those you can actually buy on eBay. Some of the things like the container that you use to actually do the tissue culture in, you can actually make yourself. All you need is a container that's big enough that can be sterilised, like a glass or plastic container. You can find all the information online as to how to set up your lab and how to do it. It's not as expensive as you think. So basically I've gone over what tissue culture is, who uses it, what you'll need, and really the sort of person you need to be. A tissue culture lab can be as small or as big as you like. Start off small. If you enjoy it, you network, you find out that you spread the word around, you get a good reputation, people start coming to you. You can get bigger if you want to. And this sort of business really suits, as I said, people who don't have a garden, people who can't get out and garden, maybe you're disabled or something, and people who are really neat and tidy. So I know this video wasn't long, but it's just another idea for a business or a side business to earn a bit of money doing plant things. Next week will be another video with another gardening idea that you can make money from. So I hope you come back then. Bye.